What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. SoFi had a absolutely epic day. I want to break it down on what really drove it higher, what shorts did, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did close 5.16% in the green after hours, even extending it slightly. 0.82%, a lot of volume. So 56.7 million shares being traded, 32.8 is the average. And so as I've done in the past, I always like to determine where that volume is coming from, because if it's algorithmic trading, it's somewhat hollow. But as I said in my last video, this time is different because you do see a very much abnormal amount of institutions buying. So these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So 1.3, 9.13, quite a lot. And you did see that nice blip up first thing. So that no doubtably was market makers covering all those options that did expire in the money last week. So that kind of shows the importance of that. But all in all, very, very epic day. And I completely admit, like almost like a week ago, I was somewhat unsure that there's going to be some FOMO kicking in with SoFi. Well, fuck that. I was wrong. My apologies on the French. But yeah, there's a lot of institutions paying attention to SoFi ever since CPI and a lot of the other data around that time period did come out. And now there's the optimism associated to rate cuts. And today marks a very interesting point because you do see a 91.9% likelihood for the September 18th meeting of a 25 basis point cut. So the chances of no change, that has now diminished. There's an 8% likelihood of a 50 basis point cut and oddly a 0.1% chance. So there is a chance of a 75 basis point cut. I obviously don't think that's going to happen. If anything, I think it's going to be back-to-back 25 basis point cuts. So this, and then followed by the November 7th, a 57.9% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut there. So I think that is absolutely epic. So that is really fueling SoFi and just a lot of other fintechs. Keep in mind, it's not necessarily just SoFi. There hasn't been anything news related associated to SoFi other than, like I said, broader kind of market conditions. So no SEC filings, nothing like that. Nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of stuck in limbo. No new analyst ratings, nothing like that. I'm going to talk about technicals and some key points to watch for in the next couple of days. What I will do is I'll pull up SoFi, give you an overview of what shorts did. So today's shorts did return 192,000 shares. So they're slowly admitting defeat. Right here, 17.74% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 184.15 million shares. Ortex is glitching, so it doesn't actually show that cost to borrow minimum. So I don't know if that is still reoccurring. Over the last several trading days, this cost to borrow minimum has been negative. I did see a comment saying that it was Interactive Brokers. That's not necessarily the case because Interactive Brokers is this right here. So they do charge 0.45. So they're not the ones that's negative. Right now, as through everyone, it's around 4.9 million shares is available to be shorted. And just to give you an overview, utilization 67.27. So this week is a very key point for SoFi. And as I've stated in previous videos, once it does get above that 50-day moving average, historically, it results in a 30% bump up in the stock price. So I think shorts would be stupid not to be returning some shares because you kind of have that aspect. So the technical is really pushing it higher. I'm sure there is going to be a whole different level of FOMO kicking into SoFi, and especially leading into their earnings and just the broader market optimism. It's kind of a win-win-win, very unique circumstance. Even looking right here, the fear and greed index is at 62. So people's appetite for risk is very much on the table. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi, and do you think that maybe their earnings is going to be different? So do you think it's going to run up and actually stay there, or kind of do what has happened in the past, run up and then sell off? What's your thoughts on that? Looking at options, so $17 million in calls being purchased today, 2.76 in puts, and you are reading that right. A enormous amount of money is getting into SoFi through options. 50% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish, and more so correlated around that $8 range. So very optimistic for for this week. And this is one thing, as I pointed out in the past, you always want to pay attention to the closest strike price, because if it is the closest strike price, then that's usually just associated with hedging. If it's outside of that, meaning the $8 strike price, that's actually true optimism. So there's a lot more optimistic investors in the market correlated with SoFi. This is the open interest right now. So 53,000 at that 7, 11,000 at that 750, and then 72,000 at the 8. So SoFi is going to struggle with that 8, no doubtably, but in theory, it could run up to that point. I'm going to talk about the Elliott Wave technicals and the updated price targets that they are given, but in theory, I know SoFi started off fairly strong and might be a little premature to already start talking about that, but if SoFi is able to close above that 7 by the end of this Friday, then this is where you'll see a very nice bump up in the stock price. So let me know your thoughts on that. Quickly popping over to IBKR, giving you a overview of this. So this is the Elliott Wave technicals. It does have a pivot point of $6.41. So for as long as SoFi is above that, then it is anticipated to get between that 750 and 778 range. So still a little bit more upside to go for that. No new analyst ratings, so just these three right here. So $11 hold by Deutsch, Mark, who has a 63% success rating, and then 7 and 8. I feel like this Deutsch one kind of fell under the radar a little bit. I know a lot of people focused on this. This one, I don't really see that many articles talking about that. But nonetheless, that's typically what happens with SoFi. Just bullish stuff gets brushed under the rug, and bearish is like, oh my god, panic. But anyways, aside from all that fun stuff, let's go over some additional data points. Right now, with it at 7:39 after hours, it is trading between these 2 points. So this R1 and this R2. So 750 is going to be a very strong resistance / target for SoFi, and then $7.21 is going to be the next strong support. So kind of just watch for those two to either break and hold versus vice versa. And if it does and is able to get above this R2, then it in theory could be testing that $8 range, as you can kind of see right here. On the actual chart itself, as I said, typically SoFi needs to close at least 2 days above that 50-day moving average, and then the byproduct of that is a very nice run up, roughly around 30%. And today is day number 2, and we are above that. So in theory, the technicals are looking very, very good. Number of retail investors are getting in, and this is one of those unique circumstances that both retail and institutions are buying at the exact same time. So it's kind of hard to see that all the time, but very positive. You do see also stochastic, very bullish, white line above the red, but it is considered somewhat overbought right now at 84. So the first sign of weakness, you could see a pullback. I'm just bringing this up as a warning, not to spread any FUD or anything like that. I just like to say it how it is. So just be aware that this is what happens time and time again. Whether it be a analyst rating, that David guy, whatever, he likes to give $3 price targets, he might come in and say, hey, you know what? SoFi is only worth $1, and I'm sure the market might believe that. So that could really prompt it to go down. But nonetheless, I think generally speaking, the technicals are looking very, very good right now. So it might be testing $8 by the end of this week. We'll just have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts on that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Give yourself a shout out. Did you buy today? Did you sell? What did you do with SoFi? And with all that, I appreciate all of you guys watching.